Story number 1. I'm a single dad to my lovely daughter, Ava. She celebrated her birthday last week. I decided to surprise her with a pretty doll she had been eyeing at the local shop. She named it Daisy. Daisy had beautiful brown hair, wearing a sweet pink dress with cute little shoes. For the first few days, Daisy was Ava's best friend. They would eat together, sleep together, and even have small tea parties. Things began to change after a few days. One night, Ava came to my room, shaken. She said Daisy was watching her. I comforted her, saying it was just a doll with glass eyes, nothing more. Next day, Ava cried that Daisy had moved on its own. I furrowed my brows. I told her it was just her imagination. Ava looked disappointed, but I saw fear in her eyes. Days passed. Things became chilling. I started noticing Daisy wasn't where we'd left her. She was in different places every time, on the dinner table near the bathroom, sitting on the couch. Each time the doll's gaze felt more piercing, almost like it was staring at us. One day we found Daisy in Ava's school bag when we hadn't put her in. A chill ran down my spine. Ava's face went pale. She stammered,
"Daisy didn't want me to go to school alone."
The incidents amplified my fear. I decided to put Daisy in the attic. Ava didn't protest. I was hoping things would get back to normal. But after a couple of days, Ava woke me up again, saying she heard Daisy talking. By now I was genuinely scared. I went to the attic with Ava. Daisy was sitting just where I had left her. To prove Ava wrong, I picked up Daisy and demanded, "Do something, walk or talk." But it was just a silent doll in my hands. The next day, returning home from work, the most horrifying sight awaited me. Daisy was sitting on the living room couch. My heart raced. I had locked her in the attic. How was she here? I grabbed the doll and locked it in the trunk of my car. That night, we had the first peaceful sleep in weeks, but the peace was short-lived. Early morning, Ava woke me up. She whispered,
"Daddy, Daisy is back."
I hoped she was dreaming, but her face was pale white with fear. I walked into her room and felt my blood freeze. Daisy was there, lying beside her on the bed. I felt terror like never before. I grabbed Daisy and decided to burn her. This nightmare had to end. I started a bonfire in the backyard, threw Daisy in it, and watched it burn. Ava watched silent from the window. That night, Ava slept in my arms. We both needed comfort. Just as we were dozing off, we heard it, a soft singing voice.
"Daddy, why did you burn me?"
We both sat up, terrified. In the soft glow of the night lamp, we saw something that froze our blood. Daisy, slightly burnt, stood there on Ava's bedpost, staring at us with empty glass eyes. Soon after this, we moved to a new town, leaving behind every piece of old life, especially Daisy. But even today, when all is quiet, Ava and I shudder thinking of those glass eyes and that singing voice. Story number 2. I remember the day we found her, a doll unlike any other. It was a rainy afternoon, the kind that wraps the world in a heavy curtain of mist. My sister, Lily, and I were exploring our grandparents' attic, searching for forgotten treasures among dusty boxes and old furniture. That's when we stumbled upon her, nestled in a corner, her porcelain face serene yet strangely unnerving. Her eyes, painted in a piercing shade of blue, seemed to follow us as we cautiously approached. The doll was exquisite, with beautiful hair going down her back and a dress that bore the marks of time. It was as if she held a secret, whispering a tale of a forgotten childhood. Lily's eyes sparkled with excitement, but I couldn't shake the unease that settled in my gut. Despite my protest, Lily insisted on taking the doll home. Grandpa didn't object. He simply chuckled and warned us to treat her kindly. As night fell and the rain tapped against our bedroom window, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every creak of the old house made me jump, and I swore the doll's eyes bored deeper into my soul. Days passed, and strange occurrences began to unfold. Objects moved when no one was around. Whispers echoed through empty rooms, and Lily's behavior grew increasingly erratic. She would spend hours talking to the doll, sharing secrets and giggling as if the doll whispered back. I tried to dismiss it as childish play, but a creepy feeling settled within me. One night, as I lay awake in bed, a soft melody drifted through the silence. It was the tune of a music box, sweet and haunting. I followed the sound, finding its source in Lily's room. The doll sat perched on the dresser, its hand turning the small music box's crank. But there was something wrong. The music played backwards. I reached out to grab the doll, but as my fingers brushed its porcelain skin, a chilling breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the faint glow of the candle. Panic seized me as I fumbled for the door, but I couldn't find it. I'm not sure if I was imagining it or if it was real. But while I was looking for the door handle, I could hear the doll laughing, a sound that chilled me to the core. With a sudden jolt, the lights flickered back to life. I immediately opened the door and searched for Lily. When I finally found her, she lay motionless on the floor, her eyes fixed on the ceiling. Panic surged through me as I shook her, calling out her name in desperation. With a sudden gasp, she blinked, confusion clouding her eyes. "Where am I?" she muttered, her voice distant and hollow. In the following days, Lily got more and more attached to the doll. She would talk to the doll and play different kind of games for hours in a row. One stormy night, I awoke to find Lily standing at the foot of my bed. Her eyes, once bright, now held an empty stare that sent a chill down my spine. "She wants to play," Lily whispered, her voice unnaturally monotone. I glanced past her, and there it stood. The doll, dripping wet and muddied, its porcelain face twisted into a terrifying grin. Before I could comprehend what was happening, they were gone. Lily took the doll, and they left the house together. That was the last night I saw Lily. In the morning, she was gone, leaving no trace except for a single porcelain shard beside the table, a fragment of the doll's haunting presence. Now I live in a constant state of fear, haunted by memories of that doll and the sister I lost to its sinister grasp. I've tried to forget, to bury the horror deep within, but even now, as I sit here writing this, I feel her presence lingering in the shadows, waiting to claim another victim. If you ever stumble upon a doll with piercing blue eyes, hear my warning. For once it latches onto your world, there's no escape from its chilling game. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like your personal horror story to be featured, please email it to the address in the description. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to show your support and help me make more of these videos. And remember, don't answer the door, don't leave the house, don't answer the phone. But most of all, don't scream.